Alright, welcome back everyone. Here we are after a few days of building on this thing. It sort of got slowed down yesterday with our getting the room situated. But I think everything is really going to start coming together now. I think we're, like I was sort of mentioning last night, this actually acts as a wall over here, so we'll get that mounted up first thing. And then we'll get back over to see how our things went with the beginning of our wiring situation from last night. But if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures and how I hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Upload daily and just trying to have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, we're just building silly little models, having a bit of fun. If you see any kits or builds or sets you want me to take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking to add on my list. I've got the most intelligent audience on YouTube because y'all provide nothing but the best options. That being said, let's jump back in and start putting... I'm getting all kinds of notifications. There's, and none of them are anything that I really care about. You know, I got nothing against Gwyneth Paltrow, but I don't care whatever she's doing. Okay, so this guy is supposed to go in here. And I'm assuming... And it's you can sort of see it's got a little bit of a bow in it too, like we had last night on this piece. But there's nothing to pull it into shape with, so I guess we'll just have to live with that one. So we're going to be flush top and bottom there. So I guess if I get it as square as I can, Okay, let me find all my mini clamps. I got 3 of them. Yeah, because we can clamp this one in place once we get it glued and then go to work on our wiring. And then probably by the time we're done with that, we can put them out the ceiling. That's the ceiling of this room. Yeah, okay. Got us a plan to get going anyway. Let's see here. So we go on here. Flat surface, and so I'm going to want clamp up against the wall this away and against the floor that away, and once I get that in, maybe I make sure it's flush top and bottom. That should pull this one, if it's out of square, that corner should pull it into square. Make sure yeah. So, okay. So basically, gonna need a line of glue here and a line of glue here, and we're gonna hope for the best once we do that. Okay, I'll start on this one. Not crazy, but I do definitely want to have enough glue because this is structural here. This is going to be one of the things that supports the roof. Not that it needs a ton of structure, but and I want to make sure the wall stays in there tight too. Okay. Alright, so there. Not quite wide enough. On the floor and not make sure I'm low on that. And then you are right there. Now you somewhat square here. Cross. I'm going to test that square, so that's cinched in. Pretty close to flush on the corners there. Okay. Solid connection down that wall, along the floor. Alright. And also, I thought it was going to stand up. Okay, so I can set it off like this, and that should be, I think that's going to, by the time I get done messing around with that ceiling, this should be something I can handle a little bit. So let's set you, that's the old one. Okay, so I can set you over here. Okay, let that glue start doing its stickiness. Now, get back to our ceiling here. Let's see. These clamps off. See how these lights feel. Feel pretty stable on there. And now this guy, in theory, our lights should. Yeah, this one missed a little bit. I can make that hole a little bit bigger there. This one's pretty much dead on. Square down here. So let's expand the hole just a shade down here. I don't think anybody's going to be at an angle to see this, but make it reasonably neat. Let's see how that works. Okay, so here, clear. Yeah, and that one comes through. Okay. Got our, oh, make sure that light's not underneath there when I do push down on it. Now, got this extra wire going around here, but I think we can work with that. Okay, get my big dog B7000, because I want to do fairly generous. I'm going to go back and forth along this wire. So whenever I put the paper down on top of it, it's going to be hopefully secured. Actually, and this line does go through that square hole before we start sealing it up too. Glad I happened to look at that. But otherwise, just a fair amount of glue everywhere else to keep everything in place. Then, wish I'd done this before I put all that glue on. Maybe it won't be too bad. Okay, yeah, that worked out. And I just noticed I missed that edge over here. So let's do not much there, so I'll go ahead and just do a bead all the way down that one. And now, looks like we're supposed to line up this bottom corner. And this kind of down on the rest of them. And that looks like it's going to be pretty good. Let's put the glue around there. Make sure everything is coated, hopefully. I'm going to throw the clamp on the... I can sort of see the wire. I don't know if it's showing up on camera or not. Make sure we get that flush. Yeah, that's really and truly not too bad. See on there. Here's the corner. Oh. Yeah, alright, and for kicks, let's hook up the battery box and see how those lights work on the new. Find where we'll hook up the battery box, see which ones, who gets gray and who gets white. I don't know whether I would just use red and black again. Black to gray, red to white. So it should light up. Just complete the circuit. Yeah, we got good. Yeah, that's going to provide some good light for our interior. There it goes. Nice. Okay. Now, wrong side. Okay. And we're about. The next official step is to mount that onto the ceiling or onto our wall over there. But I'm going to go ahead and do. Yeah, I'm not going to jump right into that. I got another wall to build here, wall and window situation. I actually painted this one ahead of time, so I don't have to do all that on camera tonight. And this is interesting little. I think it's supposed to. We're making a. Yeah, like that. Sort of like the broken wall, so we can see through our. I guess it's supposed to create that cross section illusion on our roof, our upper level rather. Okay, but that's coming up. Same as you. So yeah. Now this guy. Okay, no texture on either one of these, but we go. This one goes on this side. I didn't think about painting around the edges on that one. I bet. There's a. This one. This pen has never been this light the whole time I've had it. I think that'll be enough for us to. Okay, let's get the paintbrushes out because that's not going to be dark enough. Can't believe I forgot this after last night. Maybe I blocked it out. Or I may have just been tired. It's pretty late. Had a question in the comments about when I decide to use the brushes versus the pens. And, well, when the pens don't provide enough coverage, like I say, so you can see how, I don't know, must be something on their base paint that makes my markers not work. But, so it's, if they got, the coverage was as good, I would be using markers for convenience. The advantage on the paintbrush is I can get into these tiny little nooks and crannies, like these little windows where the paint markers, even the fine tipped ones, don't fit that well. Yeah, I think I was in high school the last time I actually did any, arts and crafts style painting, so that's been multiple decades now. So I'm actually a little pleased I'm able to still my hands are still steady enough to do this. Even though it's a little thick on this edge. I'm sure I'm going to get some splash around here at some point. But pretty happy with that. Now can I do it on this side? I think I might have been a little overkill on that. A little thick on the outer edge there on the first one. Let's see how close I can get to the just need just too far on that. I should probably buy the brushes at something other than the $1.99 store. I want to be serious about it. There's a siren going off outside. If you're going the other way, I'm good. Actually, sounds like they cut off pretty close. I'm gonna make sure it ain't one of the neighbors. Click on this bottom edge. I think pretty good. Okay, let's stand this guy up and let it dry for a few minutes. And I can cut out our glass. The realization that outside the frame is clear does help a lot with you don't have to be actually on the line. You can get a little wide and it's still going to be okay. So. Okay, that's ready when we need it. Let's see. Okay. Anything else I can do while I'm waiting on that? Okay, I can go and assemble this little guy. Like I said, this goes on the inside, and I painted the edge black to make it more of a contrast there for us. But it's just supposed to line up back and top. Be a good time to use this, I guess. even it up like so. I'll go back to the old. Uh-oh, I just got an email that Rocker is having a sale, so you might want to check rockeronline.com if you've been looking at any of their sets. That's what it looked like anyway. I didn't click on it. It said limited time or something, so trying to create that false scarcity, but it's pretty good. Their kits are pretty good quality, so I would I always had good luck ordering directly from them. And now I think they've even got a page where you can order from them on Amazon, where Amazon does the fulfillment, so that's another nice. Get a lot quicker where it doesn't have to come all the way from over yonder. Okay. Right down against the corner. Nice flush edge there and top. Yeah. Okay, so that's ready to go when the time comes. Hopefully in a few minutes from now. Let's see here. Square back over there. And let's check on the status of our room. Let's see if it stays together when I pull these. Okay, seems to be doing okay. And I think this is just paper, so it should be ready to go too. Yep, looks like it. So let's. Okay, that's. Just saw this bit. Hang on over that. But a little. Now I'm wondering if I did this wire right. Yeah, that's right. It says go through and then put the paper on top. So yeah. Okay. Back over there. We're supposed to take this bulb through that hole on that end. Oh, that way. So back underneath. Get you through there. Alright. Evidently, I was supposed to leave that. Okay, so I'm going to have to peel this back a little bit to make that. I got to get my corner flush here. Okay, that was all it took. Like I say, that back still, if the top is bowed out a little bit there, but I think we're going to have to just live with that. Everything else, get that corner squared up. Yeah. So, this on this side, corner squared up there, back polish. Okay. So, this away, and back to the big boy B7000. Just run a bead, try to run a fairly light bead all the way around here, full contact. And it does go all the way back over here. Okay. Get you. Corner squared up, front back squared up. Oh. Right where I want you. Held together nice and snug. Likewise back here. Got our wall right there, so that's where I'll put my clamp. Because this one didn't stay flush. I got a little antsy with that, so I'm going to reapply the clamp here to here because this one had broken loose. I think this is my last clamp, so I'll move on to the back into this. Okay, so well clamped in place. Good corners. This one's a little sketchy. Let's apply you. Okay. I thought I had 4 of those. Maybe I only did have 3. The other ones aren't that small. The other small ones aren't that small, but I'm going to be front to back here to try and get, like I say, that's bowing out a little bit there. I'd like to get it tightened up some. Just significant overkill here. I'm not going to really clamp this, and just enough to, I just want to do enough to ease that down. Okay. Try and get that back all straight, or straighter at least. Okay. I think around, I feel pretty good about that. Let me grab some excess glue here, so I'll wipe it off. Where I can reach it anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to take this guy and set you back here. And go back to work on our upper level, because that paint dries pretty quick, so I think yeah, that should be good to go now. So, put that on this side. And I got a little wide there, but hopefully it won't be very noticeable. I think I'm going to try putting the glue on here rather than on here this time. Just well, you know it's going to hit the right places. And I'm going to pick you up. There's some strings in here. appears to be good. Good and squished in place. Okay. Go ahead and go for it on this one as well. Maybe find something under here to even it up. To go there. I think I'll have to go back to this side, putting it down here for this bit. Remember, I want to make it right up next to the edge. This side, pretty well lined up. Okay. Okay. Now that's the outside. And our this piece goes on here. It's supposed to be flush with the exterior wall as is. But I think I'm going to stick it on over there onto the wall once it's in place. And this, our top floor is going to be, let's see here, which way? This guy. That one there, then that extension over there. Alright. So, I'm going to definitely let that glue dry for a little bit before I try and mount all this extra stuff on there. But, like I say, I'm going to give that 20 or 30 minutes, let it get hopefully good and solid, and we'll come back and put this second floor on, and I may put the roof on the second floor on tonight. We'll see how long it takes me to get this all balanced out and ready to go. But, be right back with that. Alright, that's been more than a few minutes there, so let's start taking these guys back off. And find a place to stow them. Okay. So, feels pretty stable. Not gonna do crazy tugging on it or anything, but it seems to be acceptably square. And no real wobble on it. That's a good sign. Okay, so what's the next step here? Okay, so we're putting this guy, get this wire out of the way this way, and you go all the way over to the corner and back. And then this one, yep. I had it right the first time. Into this corner. And it goes to, yeah, it goes, this one goes in front. So this one goes all the way to the edge. Okay. Let's see here. Does this one go? Come up against, pretty close against that. Yeah, okay, there we go. That gets, okay, just got a little bit to lean against there. That's a good 1.5 inches on it. So maybe that'll hold it. Put the glue on there, maybe that'll hold it stable enough to keep it in place. Okay, let's get the, just run a bead across it. We're not doing too bad on time now, so that's still under 40 minutes, so that's, I don't want to go super long, but I'd like to get a little more of the structure done tonight. I don't know why I opted for this. I think this gives me a little more forgiveness than the super glue. Can get a chance. And that. Package it up. Get you in there to lean up. Wait a second. Wrong way. Got the window in the wrong side here, so that's, yep, this way. Okay. Now, I think this one goes in here, pushing on the front. So put that in there. I can put a clamp right along this floor, and that should push this one into square. Yeah, I think. Okay. We'll find out. But that, get our front square holding edge up there, run us a bead on the bottom. And you here. Oh, what's one? Go ahead and put one on the and on the back edge too. So there to there. Okay, we're sort of holding each other together now. And actually, I was about, I think I'm going to use my big clamp just because I get more surface area on my pads here. So hopefully this will work the way I intend it to. Okay, so this end is working, being cooperative here, sort of. This one, I think it's gonna. This is one of those structures. It's gonna have to be close enough. It's gonna have to be okay. Okay, now clamp that. The top of this one in place too to make it. Hopefully, hold it. Get it. Oh, yeah. I can get it to apply the pressure, get it aligned. I don't know if okay, yeah, lightweight enough to do that. I got a good square, good-ish square there. Okay, the handle is holding thing up. Pull you out of the way. Take a look at the back side here. Yeah, it's not doing too bad back there. I don't think it's going to be beautifully perfect here. I could. I'm looking. Let's grab one of my acrylic sheets here. No, I don't want that. I need something. There's an old piece of scrap here. So give me a spacer to get me away from the glue on the bottom. Then the acrylic sheet. I'm doing all that, and while I was doing it, it actually, I think the glue's sort of grabbed it enough where it's, I'm looking this back, and every time I move it, it wiggles it around, but I think we're in good shape on that. But now, we got this piece. Around there. I don't need the scrap in there anymore. This wire sort of. Now this, the wider section goes to the back, and it's supposed to be flush with this back wall. So about like so. I think I'm hoping I've got everything squared away up there. I think I'm going to go with the super glue on this surface because it's the thinner of the two. I'm going to try my luck at getting this in there with some pressure. Well, I think the super glue is going to be too unforgiving. I think I'm going to be, yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the B7000. So, just jump in with it. Beat up the wall here. And we're on the bottom of this one. Good coat on there. B7000 gets a little tacky reasonably quickly, so it'll sort of, I think something this small will sort of hold it in place for me. I don't think I'll need to clamp it. And it is going pretty neatly on the edge here. It's not, as I know, this wood is straight. It's too thin and old. And you can see, I think you can see right there, there's definitely some curvature there. But I think that's about doing a good job back here. That's looking okay. Okay, so that's getting that sort of stabilized in place. Be good. Now let's see, the next step is applying the wires or the lights onto the bottom of our rock garden, roof garden. And this is going to end up, let's see how this is eventually going to end up. Okay, so this goes back to, I think I need to be a little bit less close here. This one's going to end up going like so, eventually. But first thing, which will be, I think, going to be the ideal thing to end up with tonight, is going to be mounting these lights onto this board, which, we have done 1, 2, 3. So we're starting off with lamp 4 in this slot, 5 in this one, 6 and 7. So yeah, sort of the same thing, though they're going to have the excess wire rolling around here. But lamp 4 is right there for us. Be able to work this. I guess it's supposed to be sort of recessed in there so the light goes top and bottom. Yeah, that's what I'm gathering from this. So it's going to be in there, and then excess wire going around in there. Excess wire going around. Yeah. So, since I'm actually getting to recess these, I think I will do the hot glue on this one. Because on the other one I was trying to sort of keep it flush and not be too... I wanted to avoid the lumps. There is a cover that goes on the... No, was it? No. Oh yeah, there is a cover that goes on... a sealing cover that goes on this one. After, so maybe I do want to stick with the B7000. This is the kind of thing I should think about before I start the video, but I don't look that far ahead. Let's see here. Yeah, the B7000, it worked really good last night, so this will be a good one to end up with tonight. I'll put this in here. So that's what I'll do. Let's get you mounted into that slot. And then I guess probably just do inject it in there. Let it get sticky on its own. Get the, I don't yank it out with a... Okay, so sort of behind right there. So we're going to be wobbling a little bit in there, but I think I can keep it sort of... Oh, wait, get my... I dropped myself, lost my cell phone stand. Probably sitting around here somewhere. It's not where I normally stow it. Did I drop it on the floor? Yep, yeah I did. Okay. When I bought this thing several years ago, I never dreamed it'd be this useful in building models. But here we go. I can get maybe spaced in here properly, maybe. Yeah, it's not going to sit down in the notch, but it's going to give me support here so I can finagle these wires around a little bit. Like I said, this one, we want to make sure the wires don't go over the edge, basically, from the way I'm looking at it. I think I'm just gonna maybe excessively fill in the gap there. I can't close enough here to do down. Other side there. Not. Okay. I don't have anything to reach into there. I don't have any tape handy. But I've got these little... Ooh, actually, I guess I know better than that. I bought some of my own glue dots. That to not stick to me. Get underneath the wire there. Maybe. Yeah, the trick is it likes me better than it likes. That seems okay. That's now I don't want enough ears to come out while I was doing all that. Okay. Yeah, I think I am gonna. Okay, I'm gonna use the hot glue gun to tack them in on either side, and I'll pop the hot glue off after the fact because it's rising up a little bit there. Thought that might be. Yeah, and that one's already come all the way out. The top one here. Okay, so get you back in place. Glue it again. fill in the gap, I think. And just a little. There's not quite enough slack in that wire to keep it contained. And just another drop right there. And back to you. They need to come all the way undone. It's already trying to stick, but it's just not quite there yet. Okay, that appears to be keeping them in place at least. That also means I probably don't need these. And this one. Like so. And there. Still gonna stick with the B7000 to really make it. Hopefully, it stays in there solid. Here's where around this way. Down into what's it? I think this one is supposed to stick out because we're going to put a sort of dome around it. But oh, and we run this through this one, yeah. Evidently the squares are ones that we're supposed to be running them through. Okay. This one is supposed to protrude. So leave that one like that. In place. And I'm still going to put a little B7000 in here. Make sure it stays where I want it to stay. I'm done with my glue gun. It's not running out the other side, so that's what I wanted to make sure of. But I think that's going to be a good place to stop tonight, because that's very similar to where we stopped last night as far as, just going to be letting that glue dry and solidify that in place, and we can start off putting our ceiling cover on tomorrow. At least we got a second layer level in. So wall in place, second level in. I'll probably flip this up and put I'll have to flip this up on top so we're making to take the thumbnail picture. But yeah, making progress slowly but surely. Hopefully this is gonna be one of those builds that slow, and all of a sudden everything happens at once and you're done. I think, you know, it seems like I've been building on it a lot more, but this is only the 4th day, so I'm sort of got to keep that in mind. It was time consuming in that first couple of days with the teeny tiny bits. And I don't think, it doesn't, sort of looking at the cover, there doesn't appear to be a tremendous amount more of teeny tiny bits. There's a few, I see another couple of pieces of furniture, but I think we've done the biggest part of our teeny tiny bits. Looks like we got some scrolls and one more cabinet to make with some bottles in it. But I don't see a whole lot of other fine details on this one. Looks pretty, yeah. Alright, but that's enough for tonight, because I've got to let this glue dry more than anything else. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share, do whatever you want to with all of that. Be good to one another, stay safe, and click on a link. There's my channel over there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel where I actually did do an experiment yesterday. This is what YouTube thinks you should be watching, and there is the playlist for this whole build. I'll see you tomorrow.